To a big dream. My name is Gaddafi. On a big dream, we're trying to see how we rekindle the passion of the young Nigerian towards nation building. In the past few editions, we've discussed the problem of disunity and how to solve it. One key point that we must remember is that unity is not uniformity. We are saying we should unite. We are not saying that we should remove our differences. We are saying we should come with our differences and be united along our thought system, our development, and towards one purpose so that we can be able to build a nation that will be okay for us and be okay for our children. On today's edition, we shall be having a discussion with someone who is an ardent follower of Nigerian politics, an ardent follower of the politics in Africa. We want to understand the roles of the youth in the quest for unity. We want to also understand what are the useful ways that the youth can use in order to bring about the unity of our nation called Nigeria. Having said that, join me as we meet our guest and have this discussion with him. My guest today is a patriotic Nigerian, someone who is very, very passionate concerning nation building. Join me as I welcome Mr. Lawal Audu to a Big Dream Sales. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on this platform.
Over the last few weeks, we've been discussing concerning the issue of disunity in Nigeria. What do you have to say concerning the state of disunity in Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria is a great nation. Nigeria is a nation that's supposed to set pace for other nations in Africa. But unfortunately, we as Nigerians have prejudices against each other. For example, the northern Muslim have prejudice against the southern Christian on the basis of religion. The same thing applies in the north. The northern Muslim also have prejudice against the northern Christian on the basis of religion. I can go on and on. But studies has shown that religion or ethnicity is not a basis for national disunity. Instead, it should be a way of fostering unity. If you check in the early 60s, Nigeria was governed mainly by youths. The Nigerian youth, as of then, decided to take the mantle of leadership by themselves. They were not given. They decided to take and participate fully. General Kufuor was just 32 years when he became head of state in Nigeria. And if you check his policies, even after the Civil War, check his policies as a youth. One of the policies was the creation of National Youth Service Corps, which is today known as NYSC, in 1973, solely to foster national unity after the Civil War. As you already know, National Youth Service Corps is an avenue also for reconciliation, reconstruction, and rebuilding of our nation, Nigeria.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. We have seen the damages that disunity can do to our nation. We've seen that Nigeria has been divided along ethnic and religious lines. But we want to know, is there any way out? If yes, what are the roles that youths will play in this journey to unity of Nigeria?
Nigerian youth should own this country for themselves. You know, Nelson Mandela of blessed memory once said, education is the greatest weapon you can use to change the world. What we need to do, I think we are already taking the first step by educating and enlightening the youth of Nigeria. What you are doing is in no way a little measure. You are doing what other youth, I will want to commend you for these great steps you have taken. We should educate our youth. Take, for instance, during the NSAS protests, the youth were resolved in their legitimate demand for change in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, politically sponsored talks and hoodlums infiltrated the rank and file of the youth, causing a lot of damage in Nigeria. These youth, of course, were sponsored by the politicians, and the only reason why they could get them was because of lack of education and poverty. They were offered peanuts to cause destruction. Of course, some of them lost their lives. So if these people were educated, if these youths were had this means of feeding themselves, I don't think they will be willing tools in the hands of the politicians.
Now, true that Nigeria is very divided along ethnic and religious lines. And in 1967, we experienced a civil war that up till now we've not recovered from, because you still see that those that are in Biafra or the IPOP will say they want to go. And then we of recent started hearing of the Oduduwa nation. The Yorubas want to go. Now, taking from the experience in Rwanda, is there anything we can learn from the history of Rwanda after the genocide? What happened and what they did in moving on?
Well, you see, Nigerian's case is somehow complex. The reason why I say this is because, check for instance, in Nigeria today, I don't know the system of democracy we are practicing. Is it the unitary system, the federal system? I can't tell you. The reason why is because we say we are practicing federalism. Yet the federal government operates like a unitary system of government. And if you check the agitations for a while now have been demanding for what do we call it, restructuring of this country. The reason being that the center is too powerful. The lessons we should learn from the case of Rwanda is to understand that if for us to foster national unity, we need to drop the issue of religion, the issue of ethnicity, because these are the things why these are the reasons why Federal Character Commission was created. Federal Character Commission was created to enable every tribe to make sure that every tribe is represented in the federal system. But is it working today? I don't know. Because by the time you fill a form and you are asked your religion, you state your religion, maybe the person that is doing the recruitment would deliberately remove your name because of the religion or the part of the country. So I want us to follow the path of Rwanda and cancel the issue of indigenship, religion, and your ethnicity in filling our forms, especially for federal jobs. If we want to go with what we call the restructuring, although different people have different meaning for the word restructuring, if we want to go back to restructuring, I believe it will help for a speedy development, a speedy infrastructure development of Nigeria. That is my take on that.
Wow, that's very wonderful. From what you've said so far, I think you are suggesting that the construction and restructuring, sorry, of Nigeria will solve the great deal of agitations from the West and the East. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu and those that are clamoring for Biafran nation, and those of Sunday Igboho that are saying that they want the Oduduwa nation. It is important for us as Nigerians to pay attention to this. And I think what you have said is really in line with what we must do as young people. But moving ahead, you spoke about federal and unitary system. You said that you don't know if Nigeria is practicing a unitary system or a federal system. Now, my question is this: How do we do with the current Nigerian political system? Should we adopt one of the Western political system, or we should create our own indigenous system? And if yes, what are the roles that the youth will play in this issue of creating a new political system?
I think the best thing to do is to create an indigenous political system that will carry everybody along in Nigeria. Check, for example, in the constitution of Nigeria today, there is no place where the traditional rulers are given any constitutional role. And you know how influential they can be. The traditional rulers command a lot of respect in their domain and their environment as large. But they do not have any constitutional role as we speak today. I believe if a political system is created in a way that will accommodate people like traditional rulers, religious leaders, and so on, I believe it will go a long way in solving the problem we have in Nigeria. If you check today's political system, it is just too expensive for Nigerians who don't have money to participate. Check, for example, the the electoral bill now that is going, the amendment that is going on now in the National Assembly. They have raised the spending of the president. If you are looking for a president, your spending should be 15 billion from 1 billion naira. Now, what they are saying is that if you are not a billionaire, you should not aspire to be the president of Nigeria. Or better still, if you are not entering into agreement with people, that when you get there, you give them juicy appointments and then pay them back, you cannot be the president of Nigeria. So we should look into our laws. The Nigerian people should sit down together and have a constitutional conference and then look at the best way, the best political system that will fit our indigenous way of life. This, I think, will go a great way, a great deal in solving the Nigerian problem we have.
Wow. Nigeria and the problem of political systems is, if we look closely at the provisions of the constitution, you realize that we keep managing and patching up the constitution we have in Nigeria. We keep trying to adjust it and see how we can make it to work for us, but it's still not working. And during the former um, President Goodluck Jonathan, he organized a national confab. What do you have to say concerning how they've reduced the confab that Nigeria spent a lot to organize, and the reports of the confab and the resolutions that was gotten from the confab is not being implemented? What do you have to say concerning that?
You see, the problem we have in this country is that politicians uses every little avenue to play politics. During the 2014 National Confab, there were a lot of resolutions that were met. You see, the creation of more states and what have you. There were some decisions that needed legislative action before the president could implement. There were some positions that needed only the president to formulate policies. But all these were not done. He kept promising Nigerians that if we elect him for the second time, he will implement the national compact. But he wasn't elected. The other people from the other side promised restructuring. In fact, they even formed a restructuring committee headed by Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State. Yeah. But as we speak today, the party transmitted the findings of the committee to the president. As we speak, the report is there. Nobody is talking about it anymore. And as you are aware, they presented this report at the time when we were coming close to the 2019 elections, promising Nigerians that they are going to implement the, 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 the report of the committee. Up to today, so the political class do this mainly for political reasons only. That is the problem we have with Nigerian politicians.
Now, on the issue of politicians and this issue of unity in Nigeria, like you said earlier, you said that we need to retire them, and we need to even retire them by force. It seems as if the political class of Nigeria, those old men that have been in politics for over 3 decades, 4 decades for some, uh, they feel that they've been called into the place of rulership and leading all the time. Now, do you think that they are operating by a formula? I would like to call it divide and rule. They divide the youth, divide the poor, and decide to see how they can use it to their own selfish benefits. This leads us to my next question on how the issue of poverty can solve the issue of disunity in Nigeria. What do you think are the useful steps that youths can also contribute to the issue of poverty in Nigeria and how it can foster the unity of Nigerians and also the common masses?
As we speak today, the poverty capital of the world is Nigeria. We have overtaken India. And if you check the population of India, India is 3 times more populated than Nigeria. But today we are the poverty capital of the world. What are the reasons? Number one, the insecurity in Nigeria today has in a lot of ways reduced a lot of people into poverty line. As you can see, the farmers can no longer, even though the president is so passionate about agriculture, about farming, but the farmers are not protected. You go to the farm, you don't come back alive. So these are some of the things that brings poverty to the land. Now, if you check the policies of the government, according to the government, I don't know the statistics, but they said they want to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. I don't know how they are going to do it because this is almost 2 years to the expiration of the President Muhammad Buhari's tenure. And yet, there is no significant step that has been taken so far to make sure that the agenda that has been set for his administration is achieved. How do you take out 100 million people out of poverty line in 10 years when nothing speak as we speak now? There is nothing on ground to show that yes, this is going to be achieved. The insecurity is worsening every day. The people of Jigawa, people of Zamfara cannot go to their farms. People of Borno cannot go to their farms. Even in Benue here, cannot go to their farms. The farmer-header clashes, and this agriculture is the largest employer of labor. But as we speak today, a lot of people have been rendered homeless. They can't access their farms. So the poverty keeps increasing day by day. And you know, poverty is the most easiest way of getting people involved in what they are not supposed to do. So I believe if the president decides to decisively deal with insecurity in Nigeria today, the issue of poverty will naturally begin to fizzle out by in stages.
Wow. Now, I want to still bring in the question what are the roles that the youths will contribute in this fight for unity? Because I can remember in Rwanda, for instance, unity is not a choice. Unity is what the government have mandated, and they took decisive steps. And then the young people growing up are growing up to forget the genocide. Now, but in Nigeria, there are lots of agitation, even among the youth. For instance, the youth in the East are growing up to say, after all, they are not taking us along, so let's break. The youths in the West are saying they are not taking us along, so we need to break. Are there useful steps that the youth, like you started by saying, we must partake in active political activities? For instance, partake in party politics, where we register, we partake in becoming delegates and all this. Or we create a third party that is formidable enough to fight against this. Now, are there other things you say in conclusion that the youths can do in order to bring about unity? Because you see, young people are growing up in the north to naturally dislike other religions. Fanaticism is increasing. Communal clashes are increasing. Are there steps that the youth can use in order to create unity and see how they can smoothen the line amongst themselves?
Let's tell each other the truth. The political elites the elite in Nigeria are very, very united when it comes to siphoning treasury of Nigeria. Of course, they are very united. Yeah. One person cannot lose. Yes. You need a banker, you need somebody, and those people, when it comes to looting, when it comes to stealing from the Nigerian public, they don't consider religion, of course, or tribe. It is only us, we the masses, the youth, that are deceived. They come to us and tell us stories, rhetorics, and tell us how to hate ourselves. But when they get to the other side, they unite and steal from the masses' treasury. Why am I saying this? The youth, we need to take it upon ourselves. I heard we have what we call National Youth Council of Nigeria under the presidency. As I speak to you, I don't know their function. The only time I hear about them is when they are taking each other to court for the election and what have you. They only drag positions because it's just like a cash cow where you get appointment and under the presidency, and I don't know their function. National Youth Council of Nigeria. These are the people that are supposed to enlighten the youth. Go on a campaign, educate the youth. Like I have already started by commending you. This step you are taking is in no way a small step. We need to start taking Nigeria as our own. We don't have any other country except Nigeria. Yes. Most of the people leading us, most of our leaders today have dual citizenship. If there is any problem, if there is any chaos in Nigeria today, they merely disappear to the other country where they have the citizenship. But we don't have any other place except Nigeria. And that is the reason why, as youth, we need to forget about religious differences. We need to forget about ethnic differences and come together. Let me give you a very good example of how we can achieve our goal through national unity. Check the Super Eagles, for example. We have the Hausas there, we have the Yorubas there, we have the Igbos, and other minority tribes. But when the Super Eagles lose, they say, oh, Nigeria have lost. When they win, Nigeria has won the match. Not the Igbo has won, or the Yoruba has won, or the Hausa has won. The Hausa might pass the ball to the Yoruba. The Yoruba might pass the ball to the Igbo. And at the end of the day, nobody will say it was the Igbo person that scored the goal. Yes. But it's Nigeria that scored the goal. You see that unity in using Super Eagles as a keystone. That unity within the team. It is when they pass the ball to each other that they can score the goal. So I believe as youth of Nigeria today, if we come together and dropping aside fanaticism, ethnics, jingoism, and other things that will break us, I believe as Nigerians, as youth, we will go along, we will take this country to the world map.
Thank you very, very much. Now, on a final note, what is that final word you give to the Nigerian youth?
I want to encourage the Nigerian youth to dedicate their time for programs like this. This is where you get enlightenment on how we can foster youth unity within ourselves. A lot of Nigerians devote a lot of time for unnecessary things and yet we lament. For example, if there is this show coming up called Big Brother Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians prefer to stay late night to watch this program. And these are just social programs that cannot or does not even contribute to the GDP of Nigeria. But what do we do? We give our all. But when it comes to active participation on issues that will promote the unity of Nigeria, the Nigerian and an average Nigerian youth prefer to sit on the fence. I want to urge us all to not continue sitting on the fence. We should dedicate our effort towards building a new Nigeria as youth. The only time we can do this is now.
Thank you very, very much for sparing out time out of the busy schedule to be available for this podcast. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will be very delighted to have you here again for subsequent series.
Anytime, any day.
Thank you very much. Now, having discussed the roles that the youth will have to play in the unity of Nigeria, I would like to say on a final note that we must realize that our unity to lament must be transferred to our unity in order to solve the problems of Nigeria. We must be united along all lines, united in purpose, united in thought, and united in development. We must remember that we have no other country apart from Nigeria. What you think attracts the possibility in your heart. We must believe that Nigeria is one, then we will work towards becoming one. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week. My name is